Welcome to the University of Tampa. My name is Tucker Whitman and I'm a junior marketing major here at UT. Today we're going to look at some of the highlights of our beautiful Riverside campus here in downtown Tampa. We'll start at Plan Hall. This historic building was opened in 1891 as the Tampa Bay Hotel and now serves as the main academic building here at UT, with 4 floors of classrooms as well as faculty and administrative offices. Next up, the Vaughn Center, the hub of campus life and activities. This multi-purpose building includes the campus bookstore, our primary cafeteria plus an additional food court, a theater, as well as offices and meeting rooms for student organizations. The Vaughn Center is also one of UT's residence halls, providing 5 floors of student rooms. Morsani Hall is another residence hall here at UT. In addition to housing approximately 450 students, this building offers another selection of eateries as well as a small grocery store. Now let's check out the Sykes College of Business. This academic building houses classrooms and faculty offices for UT's undergrad and graduate business students. This building also has a real-time stock trading room. Right next door is the Sykes Chapel for Faith and Values. This gorgeous interfaith chapel features a large main hall complete with a massive pipe organ, as well as meditation rooms and meeting rooms. Student healthcare is a major priority for us here at UT. The Dickey Health and Wellness Center is accessible to all students and provides high-quality services including basic medical care, counseling, and wellness programs. On the east side of campus, you'll find the McDonald-Kelsey Library. Here, students can learn from a large collection of books, periodicals, and digital databases. They can also take advantage of our numerous study rooms and computers. The Academic Success Center is another great resource for students. This is your one-stop shop for academic advising, coaching, and tutoring services. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just want to shoot some hoops, the athletic facilities here at UT are hard to beat. The Bob Martinez Athletic Center includes a large gymnasium, a weight room, and training facilities. In addition, the campus features an aquatic center open year-round, 6 tennis courts, baseball and softball fields, a 1,500-seat stadium, as well as a lacrosse field and intramural complex. Need a break from studying? Head to Falk Theater and catch a play. This 1,000-seat historic theater serves as a home for all major performances made by UT's Department of Speech, Theater and Dance, as well as special guests. This is one of UT's newest facilities, the Innovation and Collaboration Building. Here you will find UT's very own Starbucks. In addition, classrooms, cybersecurity labs, study lounges, and the Loth Entrepreneurship Center, designed for student entrepreneurs to launch their startups. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video tour of UT, we'd love to give you one in person. For more information or to schedule a campus visit, go to ut.edu.
Just another ordinary day at UT.
ranked graduate school.
Welcome to the University of Tampa Namoli Family Stadium, live for a brief little pre-game show as Tampa gets ready for game 1 of 2 with doubleheader against SMSU, Southwest Minnesota State. We'll be back shortly.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover
And we are live at the Namoli Family Stadium. Tampa has been given a 5-run handicap to start the game. Only joking, of course. We're getting the scoreboard all fixed up as we get ready to open up the doubleheader again. I'm Taylor Storley, working solo today, live. A beautiful afternoon for a doubleheader at the Namoli Family Stadium. University of Tampa enters this game 11-0, looking to make it a perfect dozen. And potentially a baker's dozen if they can take the series sweep. Meanwhile, Southwest Minnesota is looking to rebound. They came off a recent 2-game loss against Eckerd on Monday, and they're looking to rebound today from a 3-8 record. But of course, Tampa will be a very tough foe. For the top of the inning, as we get set to go in just a minute, we'll give you the quick lineup rundown for Southwest Minnesota State. Leading off for Southwest Minnesota State is number 5, Abby Russell. Russell will be playing as the shortstop in the field. Batting second is Riley Kremelish. Riley will be in left field. Next, we've got Shelby Blumendahl, the first base player, number 11. Blumendahl is followed by Jillian Knoll, the third base player. Up next in the 5th spot would be Molly Bull, the catcher. In center field, number 8, batting 6th, Abby Boxrud. Batting 7th, number 23, Paige Arendt, the right fielder. Meanwhile, Katie Palmer, number 22, is going to be the designated player, while McKenna Waldo, number 4, is the second base player. In the circle for Southwest Minnesota State will be Morgan Ott. Meanwhile, for the Spartans in the circle, it's Mary Beth Feldman, a team's ace, part of an absolutely deadly rotation throughout the season. Feldman has had 4 starts on the year and has been 4-0 with 22 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 16 strikeouts, and 5 walks. The 2 earned runs calculate to an 0.64 ERA, which leads the team for pitchers with qualified innings, even though Kate DeSimone, who is actually playing as a two-way player once again, running as the first base player for the Spartans, leads the team with an actual 0 ERA through 6 innings. But Russell will lead off for the Broncos as we get ready to get underway. First pitch from Feldman, high for ball 1. Russell enters the game with a .238 batting average, a .267 on-base percentage, and .310 slugging percentage. Likely trying to utilize speed as a way to get on base early. And that one taken up for strike 1 with a late call, but one that I think is correct down the middle. And the count will go to 1-1. So now the 1-1 to Russell. This one's going to be grounded to DeSimone. 1 away. We'll give you the quick rundown for the Spartans in the field. The first base player for the Spartans, Kate DeSimone, playing at second base. As the second base player is Alexa Russo, playing at short, number 2, Stephanie Ballmer, and the third base player, Cameron Wininger, who's going to make a throw for out number 2 on the first pitch that Kremelish sees. So good throw by Wininger to get the throw in time. Pretty easy play at third base. Batting third for Southwest Minnesota State is Shelby Blumendahl, a .243 average to start the season with a swing and miss. Fantone is out in left field, Keister in center, and Galehouse in right field. Chevalier forms the battery with Feldman. This one taken high for ball 1. And the count, I believe, will go to 1-1. This one popped up, could land in foul territory, and it does despite the effort. Oh, so great effort there on the run from Lauren Fantone. We've seen her make a lot of plays out in left field, but this time it's just a little too shallow for her to make the catch. Count goes to 1-2 here with 2 away. Chance for Feldman to have a quick inning. This one's going to be grounded to Feldman. 1, 2, 3. The Broncos go down in order, and that'll bring up the Spartan bats in the bottom of the first. You're watching Tampa Spartans softball and TampaSpartans.tv.
Pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
So we're about ready to go in the bottom of the first. Lauren Fantone will lead off for the Spartans. Fantone, a solid start to the season so far. Enters the game with a .310 average, which is 60 points below the Spartan team average, but still a really good start for her. A lot of value defensively and offensively. After Fantone, it'll be Lily Keister, followed by Alexa Russo, followed by Cameron Winninger, then Mariah Galehouse, Lexi Chevalier, Avery Perkins, Kate DeSimone, and Stephanie Ballmer batting ninth. Strike one on the missed bunt. Bull forms the battery with Ott, Knoll at third base, Russell at short, Waldo at second, and Blumendahl at first. Arendt at right, Boxroyd at center, and Kremlish in left field. That's how the Broncos line up in the field, as this one goes high and outside for ball one. But indeed, Tampa's bats are definitely something to fear, hitting .378 as a team for the season, scoring 8 runs a game. This one's popped up to center field. Tracking it is Boxroyd, and there's one away in the bottom of the first. Can be difficult to track fly balls in the outfield. Stays under it and gets the first out. Keister at the plate. I wonder if Keister might try to get on with a bunt. But no, goes swinging, fouls this one off. Keister's had a great start. A .444 average with 11 games played. Also has knocked in 8 runs via RBI. He's only struck out once this season and has gone aboard with 3 walks. Overall, a great start for Keister's season. And this one's going to be high for ball one. The 1-1 grounded to short. Keister out by a step. Good play by Russell to field it in time. In baseball, a play like that is very much quick and you could get it to first, but for softball, the smaller field, smaller base paths really allow for more chaos. So a play like that is definitely no longer a given, which is something I really like. It allows for more balls in play to lead to chaotic outcomes and kind of makes the game more fun, as Major League Baseball is kind of trending towards a 3 true outcome style of play, where you get a home run, a strikeout, or a walk. It's fun that softball is very much the opposite. You see so many hits, you see so many fielding plays, potentially even errors as well. And while you never want to see an error happen to your team, it's just cool that they do happen. It's cool that just to see everything happen. Anyway, Russo with a 2-0 and now 3-0 count. Great discipline to open up her first at-bat. I'll say Russo is not the type of player you'd like to walk in the situation, because Winninger's on deck, followed by Galehouse. And despite what was a slower start to the season, Winninger has really found some form and is hitting .407. Russo, meanwhile, hitting just a little bit under that at .382. That on-base percentage of .378 is going to be going up after that 4-pitch walk. Winninger taking some time as Russo gets a couple calls from first base. Russo has stolen one base this year, but I'm not sure if she would be trying again. Just outside for ball one. Five Spartans have hit home runs. Weininger is one of them. Russo was another. In fact, they have very similar stat lines. The difference is Russo has one more hit. Chevalier, I was looking a little bit too far low. I was comparing Chevalier to Russo, who will be batting up a little bit later this inning. But I'll go over that later about their pretty similar statistics. Good framing attempt from Bull, but didn't work. Count now sorely in Weininger's favor. It's going to be 3-1. 3-2. The full count pitch, and it is ball four. 2 walks in a row for the Spartans, utilizing discipline to get on base. I think that Ott was hoping for a quick 1-2-3 inning to match Fellman, and now it is turned to the opposite. She now has to deal with Mariah Galehouse. Galehouse hitting .500 for the season, 11 games in. The best qualified hitter for the Spartans. And apart from hitting .500, she's holding batters to a .154 batting average from the circle and an .097 ERA with the most innings pitched for any Spartan pitcher. A 5-0 record with a save, 2 complete games and a shutout. Galehouse was also part of a combined no-hitter / perfect game earlier this season. And now Galehouse takes 3 straight. Bases could be loaded for Chevalier. Yes, they will. Not yet. Do apologize. Sidney Johnson and Brian Serafin, the 2 umpires today. Johnson takes an extra second for strike and ball calls. This one's fouled back, and we have a full count for Galehouse. 2 aboard, 2 away. Would be great for the Spartans to try to take the lead early. This one sent to the outfield, and the Spartans should take the lead. Russo heading home, safe, but now Galehouse caught in a rundown. Throw home, safe. Galehouse out. Wait, safe. So the umpire is motioning with a fist bump, but apparently he's trying to signify that it's safe. That is one of the weirdest safe calls I've ever seen, and honestly, I know I should be more cheering for the Spartans, but I actually thought they might have gotten Galehouse out on the play. It instead ends out to be a RBI double. During the rundown, Waldo was hoping to get the runner out at home, but just was late. That allowed Galehouse to escape the pickle and get to second. So things just went bad to worse for Southwest Minnesota State. Maybe they can salvage something here as Ott gets a swing and a miss for strike 1. So interesting, because I immediately saw the fist bump and thought that would be out number 3, and the Spartans would hold a 2-run lead, but it would just shift over to the top of the second inning. Chevalier pops this one up. It is caught in foul territory. Good run by Kramelish, and that will end the inning. Spartans score a hit, and thanks to a few walks, they were able to bring 2 runners home. We'll be back at the top of the second right after this. 2-0 lead for the Spartans. What I will say is that a very interesting bottom of the first inning. Very weird play to talk about for Galehouse. Hits the ball into the outfield. Brings one run home in the form of Alexa Russo. Rounding third and ready to go home afterwards is Weininger. But quickly, Galehouse found herself in a pickle, stuck between first and second. And at the time she was about ready to get thrown out at first, Waldo, the second base player for Southwest Minnesota State, sees Cameron going home and tries to throw her out. The throw is not in time, and Galehouse is then able to get to second safely. A runner who didn't get safely to first on the play, however, is Knoll, who is out to open the top of the second inning. To make things even more confusing on that Galehouse 2 RBI single, the umpire, motioning Galehouse safe, was making a fist bump motion that you normally see when a runner is being called out. That is a very interesting call to see sometimes. One of those taken outside. 2-0 here from Galehouse to Bull. Bull is hitting .250 on the season. 6 RBIs alongside an extra base hit. That one's up high. And the count is 3-0 here. See if Bull can get on base with one away. Become the first base runner for Southwest Minnesota State. They'll have to try again next pitch, as this one's right down the middle. 3-0 is a take all the way count. So now the 3-1. You might see a swing from Bull. Hasn't actually offered at a Galehouse pitch in this at bat. So from the stretch in the circle. And ball 4 just outside. Galehouse threw a perfect game last season and actually had another perfect game get broken up with one out in the bottom or top of the 7th inning. So unfortunately, a perfect game would be off the cards for this game. No chance to try to join D. Simone and Galehouse heroics that they were able to pull off earlier in the season. But Feldman still very much in control here, as the count is now 0-1. The bunt misses. It's actually fouled backward. And a good thing it did get fouled backward instead of just missing the bat, because otherwise that would have allowed Bull to get to second with a stolen base, removing a potential double play opportunity. I have a feeling Bull may be running on this pitch. This one's going to be popped up. Caught by Fantone playing shallow. 2 away. Payne Jarn currently hitting .176 on the season. Arndt has pulled in 4 RBIs. This won't be another, as it's actually a force out to Russo on the very first pitch. Another quick inning with just a walk being conceded and 1 runner left the board. Bottom of the second, 7-8-9 due up for the Spartans. Bottom of the second, Tampa was able to take a 2-run lead thanks to a Mariah Galehouse single back in the first, complete with a very confusing safe call at second. Not necessarily confusing in the call, but confusing in the motions. The reason I'm still harping on about that is honestly because it's kind of interesting. I've never seen that type of thing before. But that's what's fun about these games. You never know what you're going to get. You might always see something new. Anyway, here's Morgan Ott ready to continue. Her first opponent this time around will be Avery Perkins. See if from the circle Ott can rebound after conceding the late walks and hit. Outside, ball one. One thing I've noticed for softball is that you see a lot more opposite breaking pitches. I believe that opener was a screwball that really breaks the opposite way. It's a pitch that's really not ever used in the MLB because of beliefs that it's harder to pitch. Well, it actually is a little harder to pitch, but it's not. It's also potentially putting more strain on an arm. But for softball, it's easier, so we do see more of those grips being used. That time, if it was the screwball being pitched from the circle, it did not work. Perkins is able to send it through short and third for a base hit. Katie Simone steps to the plate. The right-handed sophomore has a chance with a runner on. DeSimone, just like Galehouse, has proven to be a very solid two-way player. That's a great bump by DeSimone. The runner will get to second. One away, and a runner now only 2 bases away from home. Stephanie Ballmer at the plate now. Ballmer has some speed. Might be able to beat out a throw on a ground ball. Also be great if Ballmer could send it to the outfield, bring a run home, take it inside, but in the zone for strike one. Ballmer hitting .280 on the season, but a notable .560 slugging percentage. Well, with good hits like that, that's a reason that slugging percentage can't be high. Won't be a double this time around, but it will bring the runners to third. And now, top of the order, Lauren Fantone will have runners at the corners with one away. And of course, this is game one of the doubleheader between Southwest Minnesota State and the Spartans. So 2 on, 1 away. Fantone would look to avoid a double play here. Runner goes, and they're actually just going to make a quick throw to third to make sure Perkins wasn't going to try to steal home on the throw to second. That's a pretty smart play by Bull. But Perkins is back safely, and Ballmer is now at second. That eliminates a double play opportunity. This one's popped up. It's in foul territory. And caught. Well, Noah was able to make the catch. Just a failure of communication between Russell and Noel. As Russell ran into Noel trying to track the ball. The good news is they're both okay. And better news for Southwest Minnesota State is that Noel didn't drop the ball in the collision. Russell is currently being checked out by a trainer. 2 away, 2 on for Keister shortly. Tampa and Southwest Minnesota State have played each other 10 times. Tampa, 9-1. Last year, they won 5-1 and 9-1 on March 10th in a 2-game series. Funny enough, this is the first time they've ever played on March 7th, back in their first series on March 6th, 2017. They then played on March 6th, 2018, then March 12th, 2019, then March 11th, 2020, and then March 10th, 2022. 2 away, 2 aboard, and it looks like Russell is good to continue, which is good to see. Keister takes this one high for ball 1. Earlier in the game, Keister grounded out to short. Keister will be looking to extend that Spartan lead. Fouls this one away. The count is 1-1. Beautiful day here at the Namoli Family Stadium. Campus also quieter than usual because it is March break for the Tampa Spartans. 2-1. This one taken outside. And here's the 2-1 from Ott. High for ball 3. Don't want to load the bases for Alexa Russo. Ott also has struggled somewhat with command so far. 2 walks already. Not 3 yet, as it goes down the middle for strike 2. A big full count pitch from the circle for Ott. And ball 4. And that'll be a very stressful bases loaded spot for the most dangerous power hitter in that Spartan lineup. And while Galehouse has had an extra home run this season, Russo has hit them out of Spartan Stadium. The Namoli Family Stadium has been known as a home run cavern, if you will. It's hard to really clear the fences. Last season, for regional play, they actually brought in a shorter fence where we only saw 1 home run over the entire weekend. Again, off the bat of Alexa Russo. That'll be the first strike that Russo sees. She got on base with 4 straight balls in her previous at-bat. But now, for the first time, we'll find a 1-1 count in the game. 1-2. Ott working a little aggressively, finding the zone. And that is important to put Russo in a dangerous spot here. Chance to strand, the bases loaded. This one flared foul. Runners will be going on anything with 2 away. The force out is open anywhere with 2 out. 1-2 one more time from the circle. This one's going to be sent through the hole. Base hit, 1 run scores. Second one being sent home. It is a 2 RBI single for Alexa Russo, and Spartans have extended their lead to 4. A well-placed base hit that was able to split Waldo and Blumendahl. And Weininger steps to the plate again with runners at the corners. So far, Weininger 12 RBIs in the season. Apart from that recent hit by Russo, she was the solo second-place player in that category. Weininger hits this hard to short, but it's going to get through on a weird hop. Got a feel for Russell. She almost had it. But the dirt caused a little hop that just evaded the glove. And it gets to the outfield. A run will score, and it's a 5-0 Spartan lead. 2 on, 2 away for Mariah Galehouse. The last time Galehouse had 2 aboard, she sent them both home to give the Spartans a 2-0 lead, and will have another chance to do so. Galehouse hard down the third base line, but foul. That would certainly have scored both if it stayed fair. Once again, the larger outfield for the Spartans also has very large corners. A ball that's able to drop through and get behind the outfielders will certainly allow for runs to score. 0-1, this one sent to the outfield. It hangs for long enough and will be caught for the final out. The Spartans strike thrice. They lead 5-0 as we enter the top of the 3rd inning. And we are back in Moley Family Stadium. Third inning set to get underway. Galehouse will keep dealing from the circle. Took 19 pitches to get through the first 2 innings. Previously, conceded 1 walk, but that is it. Weirdly enough, I was mentioning balls being put into play more often than any walks, hits, or strikeouts, and that has truly been the case for Galehouse. Every batter, except for the singular walk, put the ball in play for a quick out, whether it was to the outfield or the infield. This one's fouled away. Weininger ready for it, but no potential play right there. Southwest Minnesota State has had some pretty thrilling games this season, including 2 extra inning victories. They've given their fans extra softball and come away as the victors both times. It would take a lot to take this one into extra innings, with Tampa at the early 5-run lead, 1-2. Just high, almost had strike 3. Palmer, the designated player at plate here. 353 average on the season, 6 games started, 8 games played. That average stays the same on that play there as it just drifts foul. Palmer actually leads the team with a .455 on base percentage, although just not qualified as a hitter just yet. That could change as the season or even day progresses. Russo picks it up, 1 away. Waldo at the plate. Waldo so far, a .292 average, 4 RBIs. And takes this one high for ball 1. Interesting for Waldo, 5 walks to 2 strikeouts. Has the most walks for the Broncos, and also the only player to have a positive strikeout to walk ratio. That one's not a strikeout or a walk. It's a 5-3 out from Weininger to DeSimone for out number 2. Now number 5, Abby Russell at the plate. 10 hits on the season, but couldn't find one in the first inning. Grounded out to DeSimone unassisted. Ball 1 taken high. Still just a tad bit high. It's 2-0 here. It feels like the calls from Johnson have been a little more hitter-friendly. Both Ott and Fellman sometimes have struggled to find the zone, but this time the curveball lands for strike 1. This will be the longest inning of the day so far for Feldman. But it ends on this fly ball, tracked by Keister. 1-2-3 once again as we enter the bottom of the third. Yep. And we are back in Mully Family Stadium. An infield change for the Broncos. Number 27, Ella Colhane, has entered the game as a defensive replacement. This one gets away from Bull for ball one. Chevalier, Perkins, DeSimone do up this inning. Chevalier 0 for 1. Flew out to end the first inning in her first at-bat. Ott still going from the circle. Strike one taken. Spartans, great season so far. Last weekend they were at Daytona Beach, defeating Embry-Riddle in 3 games, 2-0, 8-3, and 11-5. The 11-5 victory was the weakest of the season for the Spartans, primarily because it was the first game they conceded more than 2 runs in. Well, second, because the earlier one had been a 8-3 victory. But those are the only 2 games the Spartans' defense has actually conceded more than 2 runs. Anyway, this one fouled away and caught for out number 1. Perkins steps back to the plate. Perkins led off to start the second last time and was able to get on base. Ball 1 taken low. (2-0). Swung on and missed. Perkins now with a 2-1 count. Perkins hitting .625 on the season, trying to work her way into a more solidified starting spot. Getting ahead in 3-1 here is useful. It's going to go full, 3-2. So from the circle, Ott would have a chance to try to get her first strikeout of the game. This one hit. Will it get down? It will get down into Boxrood's glove. 2 away. That'll bring up Kate DeSimone, the first base player and member of the Spartan pitching staff. Here's the first pitch from Ott. Swung on and missed. I think DeSimone wanted to try to clear the fences with that swing. But so far, DeSimone, a solid start, .316 average, .435 on base percentage. That number could be in jeopardy. 0-2 early. Ott could get a 1-2-3 inning. This one just goes high, couldn't get her with the riser. 54 pitches entering the at-bat. Up next will be number 58 from Ott with a 1-2 count. In the dirt, ball 2. Back in the second, DeSimone dropped a sacrifice bunt to advance the runner. So this will be our first true at-bat of the game, staying alive in the 2-2 count. With 2 outs, the Spartans are hitting 3 for 5. Will that number go up? It won't go down yet. The count is full. So great job by DeSimone to battle back to a full count. 3-2. This one popped up. It's playable in foul territory. And just drops behind Knoll. It's hard to grab right next to the net. Knoll couldn't come up with it. So we'll have another payoff pitch here. Here's Ott. DeSimone battles and stays alive. This one will extend the inning. It's hit into the outfield. DeSimone holds up at first with a 2-out single. A great job to battle back. And that's going to bring up Stephanie Ballmer, who had a hit earlier. Ballmer takes this one for ball 1. Had a single and later scored in her first at bat in the second inning. Unless this one drops, it'll be a 1-for-2 day, but Culhane comes up with it to end the inning. Tampa gets a runner, but that runner gets stranded. They still lead 5-0 entering the top of the 4th.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. Incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Beautiful day in the sun here on this Tuesday afternoon in Tampa. I know Spartan fans can call this a beautiful start. They lead 5-0 and looking to hold on to that lead. Due up for Southwest Minnesota State, Kremlish, Blumendahl, and Knoll, the 2-3-4 hitters. Feldman dealing from the circle, 33 pitches to get through the first 3 innings. Averaging just 11 per inning. That's a very good pace. At that rate, Feldman could very well try to start game number 2 if the Spartans needed. Tomorrow, the Spartans play Chestnut Hill at home and then travel on the road for a revenge match against Valdosta State, the team that knocked them out in the regionals last year. And it is an errant throw, but probably will count as a hit by Kremlish. So a runner aboard to start the top of the 4th inning. It was a shallow grounder, and Russo couldn't make the play in time. It got over Feldman. They'll bring up Blumendahl with a runner aboard. Blumendahl fouls the bunt. But it'll be interesting to see those next 2 games for the Spartans. Meanwhile, for Southwest Minnesota, after they finish up the Tampa series, they'll be headed to Claremont, playing Millersville and Pittsburgh Johnston tomorrow. And then on Friday, they'll face Truman State. Friday afternoon, they'll face Trevecca Nazarene. Saturday, they'll wrap up their Florida tour that started last Saturday on the 4th. The games against Lewis and Grand Valley State. The 0-2, this one's taken high. Blumendahl was trying to advance the runner. Now, that'll be harder to do in a 2-strike count. The 1-2. This one lined, gets down for another base hit. 2 runners aboard to start the inning. Feldman has a buffer, and the Spartans have a pretty comfortable lead. But Southwest Minnesota finally finding some offense. Wonder if the Broncos can keep it up with Knoll. Knoll 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to short last time. A similar play here could lead to a double play. So they're going to hope to avoid that. But in this spot, I think it's going to be a no-brainer bunt call to try to get the runners in scoring position. Strike 1 taken on the good frame by Chevalier. No defensive changes yet for the Spartans, but later in the game, they could elect to do so. Potentially if they wanted to run players maybe like Alyssa Carfora in as pinch hitters. Went around, strike 2. Knoll tried to check up, but had already committed. 0-2 here for Knoll. And now the ability to bunt is greatly diminished. Tampa's outfield playing about medium range, slightly deep. This one's grounded, gets by Russo, all the way to Keister, and runners will hold up, bases are loaded. Good two-strike hitting there from Knoll. That'll bring up the 5-hitter, Bull. The tying run could technically be on deck. The Broncos needed a quick inning of offense, and now the infield will have a quick conference with Feldman to strategize what they need to do. Take it for strike one. Need to apologize. Southwest Minnesota State Mustangs have the bases loaded here. Would have loved that correction back in the first inning, but friend Dwayne was pulling a little prank by waiting until the 4th inning. If you didn't hear that over the mic, Dwayne commented that he was going to wait to the 7th, or potentially even game 2 in the 7th inning. Base is still loaded as this one gets in the dirt, but Chevalier stays on top of it. Tampa holds the early lead, but a real dangerous opportunity, and the Mustangs have a chance to score a couple runs here. They'll be knocking on the door. Can they get some candy? Taken high for ball 2 now, or 3 I believe. And it's a 3-1 count. Gilhouse and right. Keister in center. Fantone in left. They're going to be ready. They're going to expect a strike as Feldman would not like to walk in a run. Gets a big swing and a miss. Full count. It's the stuff you dream about. Bases loaded. Full count. You normally dream about this in the bottom of the 9th or 7th inning, but here it's in the top of the 4th. Swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's the first out of the inning in a very tough spot. Boxrud steps up now, the freshman lefty. She has the platoon advantage, but it will be tough to get a hit off of Feldman. Boxrud did draw a walk last time she was at the plate. Strike 1. Actually, Boxrud popped out in her last at-bat. Deal 1 from the circle. Fouled away on the check swing, as I like to call it. The check foul that you never like to see. And now, Boxrud down 0-2. The Mustangs have had some good two-strike hitting throughout the day. Outside, that was a very generous frame attempt from Chevalier, but definitely wasn't getting the call. 1-2 here. As the great Bob Ucker would say, that one just a bit outside. Count will go to 2-2 here. Boxrud trying to battle back. Fouled away. Stay at 2-2. Two and two. This one popped up. It will land before anyone can reach it. The only player who could have made the catch was the third base coach for Southwest Minnesota State. While calling some baseball, Jack and I were hypothesizing position numbers for the coaches, 10 and 11. So that one could be classified as an E10, a missed catch at third base. The 2-2 again, with one away. Fouled, and another E10. That time, it was similar to the Bill Buckner play that, unfortunately, well, actually very fortunately, since I'm a Yankees fan, cost the Red Sox a World Series a long time ago. 2-2 for Boxrud. This one popped up, and a third straight foul, and this time the third base coach just getting out of the way. I think at this rate, Cameron Weininger might just want to stand by the third base coach, as it appears the balls are just magnetically headed that way every time they leave the bat. Maybe Fantone can get an extra step the next time there's a foul ball and get to it. She's made good foul ball plays over on the far left side before. This one's going to be grounded. They take the force out at first, letting the run score, not taking the risk. It's a 6-3 fielder's choice out. Well, technically not fielder's choices. That's the hitting runner they got out. But a run scores from third, so second and third. Tying run still remains on deck as Arndt steps to the plate. And Southwest Minnesota gets on the board. The game is now 5-1. Strike one on the outside corner. This one gets away from Chevalier. Runner going home. Safe. That's an unfortunate wild pitch for the Spartans. And a second run has come home for the Mustangs. That's a 5-2 lead still for the Spartans. But the Mustangs showing some signs of life here. This one taken low. And I believe the count will go to 2-1 here. And the update does read 2-1 from Johnson. This one popped up. The damage is done. 2-run score from bases loaded, but Feldman is able to prevent anything more as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. Spartans still lead by 3.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for.
Welcome back to Namoli Family Stadium. A fun game so far. Bit of offense, 7 runs being scored in the opening 7 halves of innings. The 8th half opens with a ball missed to Lauren Fantone, was up for her third at bat, flew out and fouled out in her first 2 tries. Recently, the Mustangs put 2 on the board, capitalizing from bases loaded with no one out. Spartans, however, took the early lead, going up by 5 in the second inning. And that has given them a pretty safe buffer that I think their offense would like to expand. 2-1. This one's on the outside corner for Fantone. Here's Ott from the circle. 3-1. Ott has conceded 3 walks so far. Would like to avoid 4 here. Strike 2 taken. And we'll have a full count for Fantone. Through 3 innings, Ott at 65 pitches. Here's 71. This one's fouled, but caught on the run by Kramelish. 1 away. I think that's the type of foul ball that Feldman had wanted earlier in the top of the fourth, and instead had just been too shallow for Fantone to make a similar play. Keister now up. Outside for ball one. Keister 0 for 1 for the game. Got on base and scored on a walk in her second at bat. Keister grounds this one hard. This time picked up at a nice grab at short. And I know Russell may have been disappointed on the weird hop that eluded her glove earlier. This time makes a sliding grab, 2 away in the bottom of the fourth. Russo at the plate, 1 for 1. Got on base with 4 straight pitches back in the first inning. And converted with a full count last time up. Russo was also able to knock in 2 runs there on the play, bringing her season total to 12. This one's grounded to short. Another good grab. The throw does go wide, but it goes wide in the right direction for Blumendahl to make the tag. 1-2-3 inning. 2 good plays by Russell. Keep the Spartans quiet. We'll be back with more entering the top of the fifth.
Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
A good weekend recently for Spartan sports. On Sunday, Tampa women's basketball secured a region victory in the Sunshine State Conference, and they'll be hosting the regionals for the NCAA tournament later this week. It's that time of year, March Madness, one of my favorites. I'll be ready to fill out some brackets. But for now, we're back live in Nemoli Family Stadium. First pitch swung on and missed in the top of the fifth. The Mustangs were able to beat Feldman last time and actually bring home 2 runs. Entering the game through 4 starts, Feldman had only conceded 2 in the entire season. So that's a good thing the Mustangs can take claim of. 0-2 here for Palmer. One and 2, this one outside. Spartans still have a pretty comfortable lead, but I certainly think it would be disrespectful to say wow, I'm really struggling with Southwest Minnesota State. It's named for some reason. First calling them the Broncos, and now not able to pronounce South. Well, I can't pronounce this. That's a simple ground out to start the inning. So while Southwest Minnesota State currently trails, they were able to copy what the Spartans did, scoring 5 runs after a 2-run inning. They could tie the game, but it'll be a little tricky with 1 away here for Colhane. Colhane came on as a pinch fielder. Now will have her first at-bat. For the season, Colhane only has had 2 at-bats. Did score, but that was as a pinch runner. Strike 2 taken. Feldman has 1 strikeout. She got it with the bases loaded. Will this be number 2? Not yet. 1 and 2. Swung on and missed. It is a second strikeout for Feldman. 2 away here in the top of the 5th. By the way, you can definitely see from behind construction going on right outside the softball field. Certainly interesting to see what will eventually go up. The workers who currently working out top can take a break and take a look down here for softball. We don't have a big fence surrounding the softball field like we do for baseball. Instead, the fence is only, or the net actually, is only behind home plate. But we don't normally see home runs, so they wouldn't likely interfere with the building and construction. Russell at the plate, 0 for 2 today. Finds herself in a 1-1 count. Fouled. 1-2. Very quick start to the game for the Spartans, but as time has gone on, the Mustangs have gotten longer innings and longer at bats. And Feldman now over 70 pitches, looking to wind and complete the top of the 5th inning, as there's still 2 outs here with a 2-2 count. Fouled away. 3 for 17 is the batting average for Southwest Minnesota State. They did draw a walk. With runners on, they are hitting .286. 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Russell stays alive. Saw Russell making some good plays in the bottom of the 4th. A couple sliding grabs to keep the Spartans quiet and draw a 1-2-3 inning. Russell now looking to work with the bat to avoid a 1-2-3 inning for Southwest Minnesota State. Fouled away, line drive, ricochets off the bullpen. Bullpens for both teams currently empty, and that's not a surprise. Another reason the Spartan bullpen's kind of empty is because while Kate DeSimone and Mariah Gilhouse, 2 of the other pitchers in the Spartan staff, are busy playing in the field. DeSimone at first, Gilhouse in right. Full count now as this one's taken high. My guess would be we either see Gwen McGinnis, Mariah Gilhouse get the start in game 2. My odds would be on Gilhouse. Full count now for Russell. This one lined to get sound for a base hit in the outfield. Keister's on top of it to prevent it from being a double. But it's a 2-out single for Southwest Minnesota State. Kremelich gets an opportunity with a runner aboard. They're going to keep the offense going. Taken outside on the corner somehow for strike 1. Personally, I thought that was a little outside, but that's why I'm in the booth and not in the field. See Feldman now from the circle. This one's grounded up the middle, base hit. Keister close, but nowhere near enough time to get the out at second. So some late hitting here has now brought the tying run to the plate in Blumendahl. Shelby Blumendahl only has 1 RBI this season, but did score earlier on a single. A hit would definitely score a run here, unless it's just shallow enough to keep the runner at third. This one's popped up. Keister tracking back, and that'll end the inning. There was a threat, but Feldman took care of it. 2 hits, 2 runners left the board. We'll be back with more Spartan softball in the bottom of the 5th inning.
I pledged.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit,
and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Weininger leads off for the Spartans. Gilhouse, Chevalier on deck. This one fouled for strike one. One and one with an RBI. Also to walk back in the first inning. Fouled an 0-2 count here for the Spartan third base player. Now, I was mentioning two-way players, and I kind of need to mention that Shelby Blumendahl is also a two-way player for the Mustangs. Frequently appears as a starter. I would not be surprised if Blumendahl got the call to start Game 2, although that also could be the job for Carly Miller. Still 0-2. Weininger fighting. Ball one outside. Odd about to get her 80th pitch from the circle. That one inside, and Weininger stunned, bamboozled. And honestly, I feel the same way. That looked very far inside, but it must have just grazed the outside corner. One away for Galehouse. Looked like a look of disbelief for the Spartan third base player there. And I cannot blame her one bit. But if Bruce was here, he'd say you can't argue with City Hall. No point even filing the petition. 1-1 taken on the outside corner. Seems that strike zone has suddenly grown from being very hitter-friendly to being very pitcher-friendly. That one ripped down the line. The net preventing any fans from taking home a would-be souvenir. 1-2 here for the Spartan 2A superstar. This one sent to the outfield. Should get down for a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Extra bases. Galehouse heading for 3. And she will be safe with a stand-up triple. I already mentioned Galehouse is a 10-tool player. Not only elite from the circle, but also elite as a fielder and as a hitter. Contact, power, gap power, eye, avoidance, strikeouts, and speed, range, and the ability to throw from the outfield. Very much like Shohei Ohtani, but even better. 1-0 taken high. Chevalier at the plate. 2 fouls and flyouts to left field so far. Interestingly, Boxer had not really shifted over to the left. Chevalier has generally pulled balls. You know what, that was a good idea to stay in center. Galehouse tagging up, and it is a 6-2 lead for the Spartans. Another flyout for Chevalier, but it will bring a run home. That brings up Avery Perkins with 2 away. The bottom 3 for the Spartans, currently hitting 3 for 5. And Perkins with a good start here. Perkins is able to get enough to be a qualified hitter. She would be leading the team in average with 625. Of course, that number is slightly lower with her 1 for 2 days so far, but could go up should she get aboard here. 2-0 taken inside. Three 3-0, working the count and getting ahead here, as Ott is about ready to throw her 90th pitch from the circle. It'll be take all the way for Perkins. Won't get a free base. It's 3-1. Due up for the Mustangs next inning will be the 4-5-6 hitters. Grounded over to short, and this time Russell can't make it. Another good play. Just bounces off the glove for a base hit. That one will likely be counted as, actually will be counted as a hit. It will be graded as an error for Russell. It did just bounce off her glove. Here's DeSimone. Takes this one high for ball one. The 1-0 taken low, and it's 2-0 here. This one's grounded and gets into the outfield. Two aboard with two away actually. Balmer will have a chance with two away. But actually, there will be a pinch runner. Looks like Perkins on second will be pulled. It's going to be Mackenzie Allen into the game. I wonder if a few other pinch hitters or runners could eventually see action. This one flown to right and caught for the final out of the inning. Tampa scores one, but strands two. Top of the sixth coming up. Southwest Minnesota State will need 4 to get back into it. Top six. We're back at Namoli Family Stadium. Feldman still dealing from the circle. 80 pitches in 5 innings. Had a bumpy fourth. Was able to recover and has a chance to try to help close out the game. 6 more outs remaining for the Mustangs. Noel leads off. One and one count here. This one lined, it'll be a base hit to lead off the inning. It's actually going to get in between the outfielders. Good throw, but not in time. It is a standing double for Noel. Bull will enter the game here again. For the runner on second, 0 for 1 with a walk and strikeout. Has only had 3 true outcome at bats. Swing and a miss, strike one. Oh, 1 here for Bull. Feldman with 2 strikeouts. A third could be useful. Question is, well, would Bull try a sacrifice bunt? Get a runner very close to home. But also you need to be wary about running low on outs. So that probably wouldn't happen. Instead, it should work as a sacrifice. It bounces and gets behind Russo. The runner comes home on the air. And it's a 6-3 game. They took a weird bounce off of Russo's glove into the sky in the outfield, and a third run comes home. Boxrud enters the game now again. A runner on first. The lefty's 0 for 2 today. Would she try the sacrifice? Weininger playing close. Strike one with the missed bunt. Wow. I'll say that's very surprising. Johnson checked the other umpire, Serafin, and Serafin ruled that Boxrud pulled back. Personally, I don't think Boxrud had moved the bat at all. Well, this one's an easy call. It's a foul ball for strike one. It's 1-1. So the question is, did that one foul off the bat, or were we all blind and did that go off of Chevalier's glove? I am confused. Either way, it's going to be it should be a 1-1 count. If they call it 2-0 here, I'd be very bamboozled, just like Weininger was on the strikeout. There was a quick circle visit for Feldman. He's trying to make sure she's all good. They could pull in Gail House from right field or even DeSimone from first base if they need to. You have the other ready to use in game 2. Here's the 2-0 with the runner on second. So they called that a wild pitch. So somehow that missed the bat when it clearly hit it. But you know what? Again, that's why I'm in the booth. I can't tell what the exact calls are. And it's 3-0 for Boxrud. And that one is going to be fouled away off the bat. That wasn't called for ball 4, thankfully. Although at that stage, you would open up a double play opportunity, which could be useful in a spot like this. Or even a triple play if you're able to make some real magic happen. Full count here. This one popped up. It'll be the first out of the inning. So Ballmer. Quick grab, just making sure that Bull was back at second. She was. Aaron up now. One away. This one popped up. Ballmer tracking it. And makes the catch up against the fence. 2 away on the first pitch. Good stuff there from Feldman. You know, for Arendt, she'd like to have that one back. Palmer up again. Palmer's 0 for 2 today. Has a chance to try to cut the deficit even lower. Ball 1. That one's low, 2-0. This one popped up, so there was some danger. but Fellman keeps the damage to 1 run as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll be the last chance for the Spartans to extend the scoreline and give an extra 7th inning buffer.
College sports.
There's light at the end.
So we're about to go to break. We'll let you know what just happened, but the inning is over, and we'll be back.
Champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Okay, so we have an update. Apparently, one of the runners, and I believe it would have been the lead runner in this spot, did not tag up properly because there was a bit of a sliding catch by Russell on that out. So instead of a sac fly, no run score, and we enter the top of the 7th, a 6-3 game. So it's a 6-3 game here as we enter the top of the 7th. Tampa with a 3-run lead for Colhane. Waldo enters the game here. This one popped up and caught. One away. 2 more outs to go for the Spartans to get win number 12 this season. Russell re-enters the game here. Some solid plays on defense for her at shortstop. Fouled away. 0-1. Oh, and 1 here for Russell. And this one taken inside. 2-1. Three and 1. Just outside. Russell looking to draw a walk here. And we'll get it. Ball 4. It opens up a double play for the Spartans, but also would put a tying run on deck for the Mustangs. They still have time to strike here in the top of the 7th. This is only the 3rd game this season Tampa's conceded more than 2 runs in. One away for Kremlish. This one taken just outside for ball 1. 1-1. Galehouse getting the quick strike here. This one's going to be grounded, and it gets through. Russo wasn't perfectly set to make the play. That's a shame. 2 on now with 1 away. Tying run is now actually at the plate in Blumendahl. And again, I think it's just very hard as well to read a ground ball like that. It's hard to tell where exactly it's going to go. You're also not sure if your teammate's going to back you up. Feldman over 100 pitches. Ideally for her, she'd find 2 pitches to end the game with 2 pop-outs. Count now 0-1. Blumendahl 1 for 3 today. Scored off a hit in the 4th inning. Flew out in the 5th. Swung on in the dirt, 0-2. This would be a big time for a strikeout for Feldman to get her 3rd of the game. Here's the 0-2. Grounded over to first. DeSimone to second. Runner at third. And they were able to catch her off guard. Great play there. It was a grounder to DeSimone, who's able to send it to Balmer at second. And Balmer noticed that Russell went a little too far off third and got to throw to Weininger, who was able to make the tag. A very unconventional double play. And the Spartans avoid a scare against the Mustangs. They had some late offense, but it wasn't enough. Tampa takes a 6-3 lead in a very chaotic first game. Hopefully a little less chaos in the second game. Tampa improves to 12-0, 3-9 for the Mustangs. We'll see you very shortly for game number 2. Feldman, a complete game victory with 2 earned. And it'll be a complete game, but a defeat for Ott, 6 earned. See you next time. I'm Taylor Storr.